Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. I hope everybody is doing well. I just had to adjust that area better. So I got to show you this before we get started here, guys. Oh, Mr. Gelko, he's hanging out close. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope your Sunday, your weekend went well today. We're going to get into this topic here in just a few moments. I'm just going to give a chance for some people to jump in here before we get started. So I just want to remind everybody before we get going here, this is a family-friendly oriented channel. I don't want to see any racism, people being nasty to each other in the comments. If you are, my awesome moderators will boot you and you will be gone. So don't even waste your time because you're not going to get anything out of it doing that. So, like I said, just be kind to each other. No stupidity, please. And like I said, if you do, those people that you see lit up in blue are there. They're watching. They're always watching. And it's sad that we have to do that in this day and age, but unfortunately we do. So anyway, so again, I hope everybody's doing well. Once I get done talking, guys, if you have questions, I would make sure you put them all in all cap locks. Okay, so that's the best way to do it. So anyway, so again, like I said, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It has been much cooler up here in the Northeast. We had low 70s today. They're talking it's going to be in the 50s again tonight. Which is great sleeping weather. I'll be honest with you, but it's like you can see it, you can feel it in the air. Pretty soon we're going to have to do a fire. So, but I'm telling you right now, I will not do a fire in August. I'm not going to do it. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's jump into topic. Okay, so I had to be creative. So we'll see if YouTube blocks this video or not. So that's kind of why I put it the way I did. We're going to actually be talking about the red flag law. Just went into effect in New York on Saturday. Okay, so here's the thing. So a couple things I want to bring up, and so we're gonna do this in a roundabout way. So first of all, what I'm going to say that, like I said, that law just went into effect in New York State. Okay, so realistically, with zero due process, you are going to have police officers because of coming to your home because somebody contacted the local, authorities and said that you were a danger to yourself or others. So with zero due process, you've committed no criminal act. They can come, they can knock on your door at any time and say, "Give us your guns." Absolutely a horrible, horrible thing. It's just absolutely nothing other than gun confiscation. Okay, so how do we get around it? Realistically, there's not much you can do because we keep putting these politicians in here. They keep making these type of laws, and they're not for us, guys. They are for themselves. They are for the people that are pulling their purse strings, and they don't care that people need a right to be able to defend themselves. So what I would suggest to anybody that is living in New York or any of the other red law states, this is my suggestion. You can take it or leave it. You can do whatever you want. If you have weapons and you don't want to lose them, obviously, because you just never know when that knock on your door is going to come. I mean, there was a gentleman in Maryland that had to knock on a door at 5:30 in the morning. And he answered the door with a gun. It was the police. He supposedly, because you're hearing the police side of the story, he set the gun down. And because if anybody comes knocking on your door at 5:30 in the morning, why are they knocking on your door, right? And they killed him. So now, of course, we only heard their side of the story, but who knows what happened. But, again, these things, it happens, and it's going to continue to happen. And so as more and more states enact this red flag law, which is, like I said, is nothing other than gun confiscation, because then you're going to have to pay all kinds of money to fight it, to prove that you're not a danger to yourself or others, even though you've done nothing wrong, okay? And so they can come and take it. So what can we do? What is a course of action? So my recommendation to anyone living in a red flag state or in any other state, to be honest with you, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, if you have a gun safe in your home, have a .22, a shotgun, something like that in your gun safe, okay? Anything else that you have, if you like, a shotgun is a very nice home defense gun, guys. So if anybody breaks into your home and you have a shotgun, you can take care of any kind of business that you need to take care of. Now, if you have a legal pistol permit, you're allowed to have, you have your pistol permit, you can go out, use that as well. But any other type of guns that you have, be it AR-15s, AK-47s, or any of those type of things, okay, I would suggest having several different locations where you're going to stash stuff and hide it. Hide it where if you need it, you can get to it relatively easily. But I definitely would recommend not having everything that you own in a gun safe, in one gun safe, because if they come in and they have an order to take away your weapons, it is very easy for them to do. And there's nothing you can do about it because, like I said, they don't have to prove anything. Yeah, most red flag states have a de facto registration. Exactly. So you have, New York State has the SAFE Act. If you have what they consider, and I love how they call them assault rifles when they're not assault rifles, but if you have the certain type of rifle, you're supposedly you have to register it. Kate is asking inside or outside. Both places. I would put some stuff outside that's easily accessible. Some place it's going to be out of the weather that you can get to, that you know where it is. I wouldn't share a lot of information where you have your things with other people because then everybody's going to know. So, but you should have some stuff, if you want to have some stuff in your home, but you got to realize that when the cops come to your home, they're probably going to search your home. So, and there's nothing you can do about it. If they have that order, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I think that it's a terrible thing, honestly. I do not agree with it at all. And, so I've seen a lot of people, have said, oh, out of my cold, dead hands. Well, the police, are going to follow orders and do what they have to do because that's their job. And people want to blame the police, but let's look at where the real true blame is, okay? This is nothing more than politicians, bleeding heart politicians, pushing their agenda of total disarmament of this country on us, and they're doing it in steps, okay? And that's all they're doing. And it's not, like I said, you're going to have these things are going to happen. You're not going to have people, you're going to have people that are not going to comply, obviously, okay? But the thing is, it's better to give them something than to be dead. And so that's why, like I said, somebody's saying PVC pipes, sealed watertight, and bury them. Yeah, you can do that if that's one way you want to do it. There's a lot of different ways that you can stash stuff around, okay? But again, it's like nothing is worth your life, and as far as I'm concerned. So it's like if you are thinking ahead and planning ahead, you're not going to have all your eggs in that one basket. So when they come, you go, okay, well, there you go. Good luck. You know what I mean? But they're not getting everything. And realistically, it's not difficult to go back out and get a .22 or a shotgun, in that way anyway. Now with like here in New York, what they've done is you're not allowed, because I know somebody that won an AR-15 in the gun raffle. Okay, so listen to this one, and this blew me away. So they win this AR-15 in a gun raffle, and so they get their AR-15, and they were showing this, and I'm like trying to get out the magazine, and I'm like, what the heck is going? The magazine, it's a 10-clip magazine. It's welded in place now for that rifle. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But that's what they're doing. It's an absolute complete control thing. So because, in New York now, you're not allowed to have high capacity magazines. So, that's why they're doing it that way. But again, it's little by little by little. It's more of our rights taken away and taken away and taken away. The next thing you're going to know, you're going to be just like the UK, just like Australia. You're going to have permission from the government and jump through hoops to be able to have something to be able to protect yourself. Let's think about the people living in the. I mean, I'm in the country. We have black bears. We have coyotes. We have all kinds of other predatory animals out here that you should have something to be able to defend yourself with. It just makes it smarter. But it's like these politicians who are trying to. And let's think about this, guys. Why would they want to disarm us? It's not all this. Oh, the mass shootings, and that propaganda. It's all propaganda. Hey, Vincent Koch, you can take my guns, but you still get. I still got my knives. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you what. You go to any of these countries that have these gun laws in place. Look at the other ways that people are dying. Stabbings are up. You're poisoning with like acid, throwing acid on people. Those type of attacks are up. So evil people, guys, and this is ultimately in the bottom line. This is what what blows me away with politicians and these people that want to try to take away the guns. Okay, evil people are going to find a way to kill you, no matter what. Okay, and number two, when you enact these type of gun laws, all you are doing is hamstringing the law-abiding citizen, because the criminal will always be able to get guns. Always. Okay, or you see what I'm saying here? And I'll say it again. They're always going to be able to get them. And I've said this before. I used to live in Rochester, New York. Okay, I lived in suburbia right outside of Rochester in Greece, New York. At any time, if I had wanted to, and if I had the cash, I could go into the city, and if I knew the right people, which I know some of those right people, you got cash, money talks, you're going to get your hands on whatever you're looking for. And that's the reality of it. And it's that easy. So, all these laws that they put in place are not going to make any difference except hurt law-abiding gun owners. And the criminals are ecstatic about it, okay? The criminals will always be super happy about that type of thing. Guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I would definitely appreciate that. But all the criminals who aren't registering them. Yeah, exactly, corrections nurse. You're right. All criminals that are never going to register a gun, they're never going to do any of it. They're not going to follow anything. Criminals that have been in and out of prison their whole lives, they don't care about the law that says you can only have a 10-round magazine. They're going to have the 30-round magazine or the 20-round magazine or the 40-round magazine. That's what they do. So politicians are protected by guns. Donna Smith just said, why not me? Exactly. They have armed security that protects them. Why is that? If there's nothing to fear, why do they need armed security? But they're going to tell us what we should do. It's absolutely amazing to me. And I saw a comment today, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. And this kind of sums it all down. He said, I wish that the government hated heroin dealers as much as they hate gun owners. Think about that. Do I find it interesting that Hollywood wants your guns, yet they show gun violence for profit? Oh, and don't even get me started on Hollywood, Schmitty. Hollywood is an absolute joke. And I saw this today, or not today, it was maybe a couple days ago. I saw this, and I just absolutely laughed. Taylor Swift said she's going to be much more active in politics for the 2020 election. Guess what? Who cares? I don't care any celebrity. I don't care how you vote, who you vote for. That is your own business. I don't care what you say. You have no influence in my life. If you make a good movie and I like you as an actor, fantastic. That's great. But guess what? You are not who I'm going to go to listen to tell me what I should do with my, as far as politics goes. These people are amazing. I mean, I've never seen such narcissistic people as a lot of these Hollywood actors ever. And they're so out of touch with reality as they live in their gated communities or they have their private security and all this type of stuff. It is absolutely amazing. If they take them and you have proven that you have been in danger. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry. Look at your Facebook message and read the headline. Okay. All right, Mike. Trump administration is considering using Amazon Echo and Apple Watch to determine if a citizen should own a gun. Really? Unbelievable. That is crazy. Yeah, he just said is considering using big tech to collect data on users. Unbelievable. To see if they have characteristics of mental illness that could lead to violent behavior. So how about that, guys? You could be guilty of committing something before you ever did anything wrong. Unbelievable. About time I read that. Yeah. Oh, well, sorry. I don't always, I'm not, my phone is, the ringer is off. I got the volume down so I don't hear the ringer anymore. They will be monitoring all social media now. Oh, they probably already do. They probably absolutely already do it. And like I said, and if you go back in any of my videos since I started doing this, I don't show guns on here. I don't think it needs to be a part of what I'm trying to talk about or teach or share with you guys. If you are a gun owner, great. If you're not a gun owner, great. It's an individual choice, but we are lucky enough that we should still be able to have those choices in this country. And, because mentally ill people do stupid things, they're going to take away, everybody's right. So in that case, if you want to look at it in that aspect, they should ban spoons because spoons make people fat. Because how do you get that food in your mouth is with that spoon. So spoons are very bad. They're very, very dangerous. So we need to ban all spoons. You can't drive in your car because there could be somebody else out there that's drunk driving around. So you should have your car taken away because that's just not safe. So we're gonna do the right thing by all of you. We're gonna ban spoons. No more cars. You can't drive anymore. Okay. We're just going to have to do all these things to protect you because you're too stupid to be able to protect yourself. It makes no sense whatsoever. And I cannot believe the number of people that go, oh yeah, please disarm me and make me a victim. It just floors me. And they think that sporks. Yeah, there you go. But they oh yeah, no, can't use chopsticks, Wolfgang. Those could be weapons as well. So we're gonna have to get rid of those as well. But yeah, it's crazy, and I can't believe that any rational, free-thinking person is feeding into this nonsense. Do they need to have a better handle on people with mental illness? They sure do. Millennials, Kevin H. said, we can't put it on all the millennials. There's a lot of really good kids out there. There really are. But, it is, so many of these people are just brainwashed and they don't realize that they're brainwashed and they're fed this crap constantly. Yeah, they're sheeple. Exactly. Kat just said they're sheeple. Yeah, they are. They just follow along to do what they're told. They don't make any kind of waves. And like I said, it's like, be smart about what, if you are in a red state or red flag state, be smart about it. Left my phone near the radio overnight while a police on a Polish station in Chicago got Polish ads for weeks afterwards. Social media is surveillance. Get out. Oh yeah. No, you know what? So basically he's saying a few days and couldn't hear what I was saying. He put his radio or phone by the radio, which was playing Polish songs, and so for the next several weeks he got Polish ads in Polish on his phone. So yeah, this here, guys, very easy to monitor you with this. Pay attention to what you're doing. They can listen to anything. It's definitely, and it's being done. Any social media stuff, they're monitoring you. They're categorizing you. What you do, what you're posting, and all those type of things. It's definitely being done. There's no doubt about it. So, well, it's okay. Yeah, so in credit cards or debt cards, monitoring food preps we buy. Well, the other thing with that though too, what they do, a lot of these grocery stores, they have your discount card for that store. Like Wegmans has it, their card. So you slide the card in and you save a little bit of money. But again, what people don't realize, as soon as you're sliding that card in that reader to get your savings, they're monitoring everything, every one of your purchases that you're buying, and they're going to gear commercials and ads towards you and mail and stuff based on your purchases. And it happens all the time, and people just don't see it. Yeah, paying cash, exactly. A lot of my purchases, if I'm doing preps, I do pay cash. Some things you can't get away from not paying cash, obviously. So it varies. But again, it's just, did you get a chance to watch The American Factory yet? I did not. I have not watched that yet. we have a video scanners on self checkout. Yeah, and like guys, anytime you walk into any place now, I want you to start paying attention. Look around. There's cameras everywhere. They're always watching now, everywhere. Like gas stations, there's got the monitors out there, and they're going to say it's because occasionally somebody's going to drive off without paying for their gas, which did happen, but then they changed it where you have to prepay now before you get your gas. Most places, there's not too many places left that you can just go up pump first and then pay. Everything is prepay now. But again, everything is watched. I was okay. Here's another good example of something. So I was in the local convenience store. It's a 7-Eleven, and I had a person ahead of me. Well, you got your person buying cigarettes, and then it was somebody else that had beer. So the person that's buying cigarettes, obviously way over 18, has to show their ID. They scan their ID for purchasing cigarettes. Okay. Then the next person gets up there and they're buying beer. Instead of just looking at the ID to make sure you're over 21, they scan that too. And I said to that person, I said, "Do you know why they scan that when you're for your purchase of beer?" And he goes, "No, I have no idea." So here's the reason why that's scanned. If later on in the night you're drunk and you got a DWI, okay, there's more proof against you because at 5 p.m. you purchased a 12-pack of Molson or whatever you're drinking, okay? They know exactly when you purchased it. If you get in that accident and you wreck your car, then there's no way you can deny that you did not buy that alcohol at that certain time and now you're intoxicated. I mean, they are watching everything. Everything. It's absolutely insanity. Now, I know some of the grocery stores, the bigger grocery stores, are not scanning your ID. They'll look in to make sure you're old enough. But that's what's happening in these convenience stores. So pay attention to those things. I watch everything. I'm always watching everything all the time. And I watch how we are continuously being conditioned, constantly, where this is normal. This is okay. We can do this, A good example, and I'm going to bring it up again. When you go to the airport and you're going to go fly someplace, before 9/11 happened, you could pretty much do anything you wanted to, and nobody really was hijacking planes in the United States to kill people, okay? Because of one event that happened, and, oh yeah, by the way, not by Americans, we now have to go through basically a proctological examination to get on an airplane. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But now that is normal. They've conditioned us that it's okay that we have to be herded in like sheep and examined and made sure. And we have to take off our shoes and you have to take off your belt. And, oh, no, something's wrong. You got to go through the puffer machine. And it's just gotten to a point of being ridiculous. And honestly, think about it. Because of one event, that's what we've had to deal with now. And so it is absolutely crazy. In Florida, they do mosquito spraying every night, even at 2 a.m. That's annoying. Well, I imagine that would be. But there's a lot of mosquitoes down there. Oh, it says protesters in Hong Kong are bringing facial recognition towers down. That makes sense because it's like, yeah, they're going to definitely monitor who's causing the problems, and they might be arrested very anonymously. I mean, those things are going to happen too. So here's somebody. I got to read this comment, guys. All right, so you can press charges against the authorities. You have a Second Amendment rights. State laws do not precede federal law. The right to have a firearm is federal law, according to the Second Amendment. Okay, that's a great comment in theory, but the reality is, if you have judges that have signed off on this that are playing that game. You have the local authorities, whoever they may be, state, federal, or town, police, county police feeding into that. They're going to do whatever they want to do, and there's not a darn thing you're going to be able to do to stop it. It's happened. If you go and look, guys, look at the number of confiscations that have happened, and they try to do it kind of anonymously. So but it's happening. It's happening more and more and more, and legalized mafia. Yeah, well, it is, and it's just it continues and it's not going to stop. And at some point, there's going to be a tipping point, and yeah, no, they don't. Bonnie said they don't want to bring attention to us. Hey, exactly. They don't. If they're going to confiscate weapons and stuff like that, they're not going to want to bring attention to it. But think about this: when they do it, first of all, I'm going to tell you right now, if they come to your home and they take your weapons and they're going to take all your ammunition there as well that you have. Okay, if you're lucky enough to get your weapons back, which is if, okay, you're never getting that ammo back. Guarantee that right now. I'll tell you that right now. I know firsthand. I had first wife. We weren't married at the time, and she got mad at me and called the cops, and they came in, and I think I had an SKS. I had a shotgun. What else did I? I think I might have had a 22. Okay, so I had those, and they took all them. They took all my ammunition, and I never got nothing back. Now, I was never charged with anything. Anything. It would have just cost me way too much money to fight it, to try to get my stuff back. But think about that. And this we're going back when I was, 30 years old? So we're talking 24 years ago. That's what they do. There's another game that's played that I don't think a lot of people know. They use that domestic violence garbage, but the thing was, there was no domestic violence here, okay? She got mad at me because I was leaving, and I didn't want to be with her, and so it was just a major fiasco, but they came in and they took everything, and I never got any of it back, way before the red flag laws. Yep, way before. So next they will be stopping us on the streets to prove we belong here. Can you say papers, please? Yeah, well, okay, here's something else. And now here's something else that I think is this has been passed in New York State as well. And they're just going to start doing ticketing for it, okay? So if you smoke in your car that you pay taxes for, that you're paying the insurance for, whatever, and you have minor children in your car. Now, I'm not a smoker, guys, okay? So it does just don't affect me either way. But they can give you a ticket now for smoking in your own vehicle because you have your children in the car. How insane is that? How insane. And here's something that I find, it's absolutely fascinating, and I find it amazing. It is okay in our society now to go up to a smoker and vilify them. You are a horrible person. I can't believe you're smoking. I'm so offended by that smoking smell. That is awful. I can't stand this. How dare you smoke in public, right? But at the same time, do you know what the biggest drain on the healthcare system is, guys? Because remember, all these big taxes that we have, like in New York State on a pack of cigarettes, is going to the healthcare, okay? But the biggest drain on the healthcare system is obesity. It's morbid, well, not even just morbidly obese, but it's very, very heavy people. Yep. Baker Moon got it, obesity. Yep. Obesity is the biggest drain on the healthcare system. But, oh my God, you better not ever go up to a fat person and say, Jesus, dude, why don't you lose some weight? You look disgusting. Because then your body's shaming them. Don't do that. That's not nice. You can't do that. You're going to hurt their feelings. And I jest, okay? But the thing is ridiculous. This whole thing is so ridiculous. It blows me away. The thing is, when I see, okay, I'm going to take you back to when I was in high school. When I was in high school, we had one fat kid in the whole school. Now, I lived out in the country, and I went to a country school, but we had one fat kid in the whole school. The whole school. Now, half these kids in school are fat. And when you have these kids that are so overweight at a young age, it's not like we get older and the weight drops off and you lose it, because you don't. You gain. Okay? It is, as these kids get older, they're just going to get fatter and fatter and fatter. And it's not good for them. It's not healthy for them. And again, and here's a good question, and I'm going to ask you this, and I want you guys to really rack your brains on this one. How many 600-pound 60-year-olds do you see? Okay? Think about that, because you don't. You know why? Because they're dead. They're all dead. Anybody that is that heavy, if they don't go and get help and get that weight off, they die, because the body is not designed to have 3, 4, 500 pounds on. And I'm not trying to hammer anybody that's overweight. I am overweight, guys. You want to call me fat? That's fine. I don't care. I could stand to lose some weight myself. So I'm not like, judging everybody else. I'm just saying our society now, we can judge on certain things because it's deemed socially acceptable, but other things are taboo. Well, the biggest problem that we have in the country, is obesity. We are the fattest, laziest country in the world, guys. So, it's just a fact. So until, people decide to, Americans have become fat and lazy. Exactly. Jonathan Brandon said, I have a cousin who's 400 pounds. Yeah, it's not good. It's not healthy. Not healthy at all. I used to be 400 pounds. I am still overweight, but now down to 253. Well, very good. That's Fairy Wings just said that. That's good. I mean, that's a big drop. That's a lot of weight. And here's the thing, and this is the funny part too. Now right now I'm still right around a 220 range, okay? If I drop even 10 pounds, I feel so much better. I have a certain limit that I will not get myself past. If I get past a certain limit, I absolutely feel like crap and I can't stand it. So like right now I don't like where I'm at, and I definitely want to lose weight. But it's just so I've been watching what I eat more, drinking a lot more water, just trying to work at it gradually that way. But the thing is, just losing a little bit of weight makes you feel better. So it's amazing what a difference that makes. So. Let's see. Food companies put sugar in everything. Yeah, and the stuff that they have now, it's all the fast food, and it's convenience. It's, if you've worked hard, you don't feel like going and making a meal, so you just go and you buy something. So again, but it's just like a drug addict, guys. Once people put their mind to something, they can do anything that they want to do. So if you decide you want to stop being heavy, you do something about it. It's an individual choice. You know what I mean? But it's like. I drink too much beer and sweet tea. Bill Norwood said, "Yeah, sweet tea is awesome. I like sweet tea myself. I can't lie about that." Guys, if you haven't shot me that thumbs up yet, if you would do that, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that. Politically correct way to say it: weight impaired. Yeah, right. Oh my God. Circally challenged. How about that? That's another one too. So you're not vertical anymore. You're circally challenged. Oh my God. Dehydrate leftovers so when you get home you have a meal ready. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I love leftovers, and that's Angela Baker said that. I absolutely love leftovers myself. I will eat stuff a week out after something. So there's nothing wrong with that. But a major factor is healthy food is often too expensive. You know what? And it's Jay. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I say your name. That was J Light Production said that. And you know what? You're absolutely 100% right. It's easier to go get that crappy burger that cost you $1 as opposed to actually eating something healthy for you that's going to be a lot more expensive. And, and again, we're lazy. I mean, we are so spoiled, it is ridiculous how spoiled we are. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, I'd rather be the man that has meat on his bones than some skinny little runt. Oh, I'd rather be with a man. Okay. Yeah, well, the thing is, there's skinny and then there's too skinny. So you can be solid, you can be in shape and still be okay. I know that when I was hardcore into working out when I was younger, I was actually considered overweight, which I thought was funny according to the chart. But I had a 30.5-inch waistline. So the charts they're not always as accurate, so, but that's why the rest of the world, everybody, that's what we do. Our morality, our judgments, and, and if you don't like it, then we'll blow you up. I'm in a weird mood tonight, guys. I'm sorry, but, it's just, some of this stuff is just, It's like when they talk about it, and we're going to go back on the other subject a little bit. Common sense gun control. There's only one kind of gun control, using two hands to make sure that you hit your target. That's the only kind of control I want to have when it comes to my guns. But it's ridiculous that people are feeding into this nonsense. The younger generation is getting away from shooting, and so they don't respect it. If anything is taught, with anything can be taken out of context or used in a bad way. But if you, like with gun safety, my kids all knew gun safety. Not that I have any guns, of course, because of course I don't have anything. But they were taught to respect it. It's a weapon. It's not a toy, and it's but it needs to be respected. And that's what's really important, I think. And I think that we've gotten away from that, and so kids are not shooting like they did when we were growing up. I mean, God, when we were growing up, we had the gun rack in the back of the truck, and you took your rifle or whatever you had, or your shotgun if it was hunting season. You were out hunting, and then maybe the next day you went to school, so you just had your gun, your 12 gauge or whatever you were using, in your gun rack right in your vehicle. So it's crazy. Today, education is indoctrination. Yeah, you're right. They're absolutely right. Well, we put a bunch of these. Who told these liberals that they have common sense? Yeah, they don't. I mean, and it's not just liberals, guys. I call anybody that does something ridiculous, because there's liberals that are like fence liberals, and then you have your extremists. Those are the ones that are playing all these games, like AOC and all the rest of those idiots. Okay, we're being played with, and people are just going along for it, and they don't want to say anything bad, because then you're going to be labeled an Islamic phobe or whatever. But people, Rashid there, Talib, or no, what's the one in Minnesota? Anyway, the one in Minnesota is the one that thinks that Israel should be destroyed. But it's okay. Omar, thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, but she's the one that thinks that it's okay for Israel to be destroyed, and she can say that and stay in office, and and that's no problem. But if it was somebody else that was maybe a different color that said that type of thing, they would be ostracized and they would be gone, because then they would be a horrible, horrible racist person. Horrible that you said that, but because it was her and she's Muslim, in her ideology of how she thinks, well, that's okay. We just have to behave, and we have to be tolerant. It's ridiculous. There needs to be a standard, and if we have a standard that everybody has to comply to, as far as what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, as a politician, let's say, to say, but it depends on who you are, what color you are, what background you're from, and what religion you're following. And that's, so certain things are okay if certain people say them, but if other people say them in the same type of way against that other person and their religion, well, then you're horrible. So, term limits for Congress. Yeah, you know what? I think that would be awesome. I absolutely think it would be awesome. Yeah, I see JJ says, please keep your post family friendly. So I don't know who said what, but please be respectful of everybody in here, guys. Sacramento, California wants to ban working on your own car in your home garage. Unbelievable. Well, that's all control, because they're not making any money if you're not going to the garage. So I'm sure there's somebody behind there lobbying to make sure that you have to go to the garage to get something get something done. Yeah, it's ridiculous how they've gotten. Well, I saw a video, and this one actually blew me away. Gentleman was cooking barbecue in his yard on his own property, and somebody called the zoning enforcement because they could smell his barbecue. I mean, how crazy is that, right? And he was getting in trouble because he was cooking in his own yard, because the smell of the barbecue was going someplace. And he's like, I don't have any control over that. Eddie, would you let Buddy out, please? Thank you, Bob. But yeah, but that's just crazy. Oh, I think Eddie's going to come over with Buddy. You bring him on over. Buddy doesn't seem super happy. Okay, that's close enough. That's Buddy. He's our big boy. He's half again as big as any of the other cats. He's our number one hunter, too. Everybody's saying hi to you, Eddie. Oh, he was sleeping. Gonna bring him over now? All right, we got one more, guys. Okay, that's Gelco. It's all right, Gelco. Lay back down. All right. Anyway. Yeah, freedom is becoming a fleeting memory. Elizabeth Cope just said that. You are right. More and more, our rights are being taken away. We are constantly being monitored all the time. And it is amazing. And people just... now, I don't know if any of you guys saw this. The Russians just sent up to the space station, and they're going to retry... They were going to dock on Friday, and it didn't work, and they're going to retry docking tomorrow. They have a life-size robot that they are sending up to the International Space Station. So that's where it's headed. Right, exactly. Mark Survival and News said he'd be like, well, when it's done, you want some food, about the barbecuing in the yard. Yeah, it's just people are, it's like, I'll tell you what, I am so glad I am out of suburbia, because you were, like I said, you're never going to make everybody happy. Everybody's going to be offended, or feelings are going to be hurt about something. It's just a constant thing, and it's ridiculous. Or like, if you built that shed in your yard, in your backyard, the next thing you know, you got to knock on the door. Where's your permit? Because somebody turned you in to make sure that you had the permit to get that shed, which they want to make sure you get the permit so then they can tax you on it. Hey, Crazy Nick, Prepper Nick, for Abel and Eddie's jar. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's my boy. So he just got home tonight. I got him this afternoon. Spent a couple days with Mom, and now he's back home. So, and Heather is doing well. Oh, actually, yeah. So let's talk about a couple things real quick. So Heather, I know she just put up a video because I just got notification before I started my show. She just had basically her first full week almost, because her classes start tomorrow. So she has her own channel, which is Hang, H-A-N-G, Out with Heather. All one word, no spaces in between. Go give her some support. If you have teenage kids, or you have, college-age kids that are getting ready to go to college, have them follow Heather, because she's going to be documenting her journey of living on campus, going to college. She is obviously a freshman in college this year. So, yep, there you go. Bill Norwood just put it up there. Hang Out with Heather. And so that is her channel. And if you guys would give her some support, I would appreciate that. She's a good kid. And so she's trying to document her journey. Second thing I wanted to mention, we are doing the sale right now on the website, preppernurse1.com. We have 20% off of everything from merchandise to legacy freeze-dried foods. So if you are interested in adding to your freeze-dried foods, if you are looking to get a t-shirt, a coffee mug, or one of the bumper stickers, they are all available right now. Everything is 20% off. So take advantage of that. It is, and Legacy Freeze-Dried Foods, guys, is awesome. I've done several reviews on it. So if you watch the channel any bit, you know that I've done that. Cleaning Fairy 1970. I'll recommend it to my students. Okay, very cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, because she wanted to, it was funny. She did a video, and she was saying, well, it's not about like what my dad does in prepping. This is going to be my experience with college. And I told her, I said, do your own thing. Do your own thing with your channel. And that's good. And I haven't even watched her video yet, because it just came up just before I started the show. So I'll have to watch it afterwards. But yeah, these kids getting ready to make this journey, this transition, a lot of them are not prepared. And to be able to listen to somebody that's experiencing it right now, and that's very, very cool. Yeah, guys, we got 524 watching, only 244 thumbs up. If you shoot me a thumbs up, I would definitely appreciate that, guys. She will be back for laundry day. Actually, Frank, you know what? This is a thing with anybody that knows, she's at RIT, okay, which is Rochester's. Um, yeah, it's a technical school. I can't. I'm going blank on the name. Rochester Institute of Technology. Oh my God, I can't believe I went blank like that. Okay, so but that's the school. So she's at RIT. Um, they have a ton of like laundry facilities underneath, and that's all part of their room and board. So they get free laundry. So uh, she is doing well, and but like I said, she can share this thing. Like what I was talking to her today is, I said, you have an opportunity to share with a lot of younger people that exactly what you're going through, the feelings that are happening with you, what's it like. And I said, I can't do that. That's not something that I can do. So, because she's living it, I think that that's awesome. And it's stuff that other kids can go in and check out and see and be able to follow that and follow what's going on with her. So that's kind of cool. So if your kids are thinking about college and stuff like that, but she's doing good though. She's going to do well. She's such a smart girl. Oh, and I will brag on her all the time, guys. I'm sorry, but it's my daughter. But she is absolutely very, very smart, and she's doing very, very well. And Eddie's and I'm going to tell you what, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Eddie was always the smartest one in the house. Always has been, always will be. His brain works differently, but Eddie's very, very intelligent, smart young man. So I don't want to think I'm just fawning over Heather, but Eddie's a great kid too, and highly, highly intelligent. And he brings a lot to the table, a lot more than people give him credit for, because they can't see past his autism. So, but she is awesome. You've done a great job with both of them. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Suburbanite Prepper said that. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And so you made your channel, I see, Suburbanite Prepper. Yeah, I just, you know what? As a parent, all we can do, guys, is the best that we can do. And then once they leave, hopefully those lessons that we have taught them stick with them, and they do the smart thing and the right thing. And, but she's going to do well. Well, it's my job to brag. Yeah, you're right, Frank. It is, and I always will. But you know what? It's like Heather worked very, very hard to get to where she's at, and she's got a lot of work ahead of her. And I think that she is, got a lot of opportunities in front of her. And excuse me, the only person that can hold her back, again, who's that, guys? It's her. That's the only one. And she's worked very, very hard to get to where she's at, and she's done very well. So, but she's a good person as well. Wolf says California is lost. You know what? Not all guys. I love it. Now you're making an assumption. It's just like saying that everybody in New York is a liberal. Okay, well that's not the case. Everybody in California is not a liberal. And when I say liberal, I don't mean that in a bad way, guys. I mean it's like there's liberals. There is your left and your right leaning people, and then you're extremist on both sides. Those extremist people are the ones that are dangerous on both sides, left and right. So let's put that into perspective. Now, because just like New York State, California is always going to vote Democrat, okay, just like New York State. But if you look at in New York State, there's a lot of decent people here that don't think like them. But there's nothing we can do about it because this is where we live, But so again, it just there's good and bad in both sides. So remember that. So when you California is actually it's a beautiful, beautiful state, guys. Like I said, as you guys know, I was out there last fall. San Francisco, in my opinion, they could flush it down the toilet. It is an absolute cesspool. What I saw of San Francisco, and the drug addicts and the crime and everything else, we got robbed. Our van got robbed when we were in San Francisco. So, but then when we went down to San Simeon, which is also in California, it was absolutely beautiful there. And we stayed there, and I was right on the beach, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I've been to San Diego many, many years ago, more than 30 years ago. But it was interesting down there. Not my favorite. But there's some beautiful, beautiful things in California. And there's a lot of good people. And there's a lot of the agriculture guys that feeds this country comes out of California. Remember that. So everybody that says, oh, I hope it drops into the ocean. You know how bad it's going to hurt the rest of the country? So be careful what you wish for, is all I'm saying with that. But no matter where, I went to San Diego in 92 and 2005. I like that place. Bill Norwood just said that. Yeah, it depends on where you go. I can remember going down to Tijuana, and I was in my early 20s. I was like 23. And had a revolving gate that you went through to get through from the American side over to Tijuana. That was it. That's all you went through to get into Tijuana. On the way back, they had the whole Customs for America side, and you had to show them your identification and everything else. So, yeah, it was definitely different coming back. But, of course, then it seemed like everybody was 5 foot tall, and they were trying to sell you chiclets. So that's like one of the things that stood out to me from being there. So, but anyway. 70,000 foot high blast, EV5 volcano erupted today in Alaska. Wow, that's pretty wild. And that, you know what? And all those volcanoes, guys, that are going off. Have you ever been to the city, and what do you think? What city are you talking about, Dale James? If you would throw that up there. I'm not sure what city you mean. But let's see if he's going to throw that up there for me. Oh, New York, yes. I've been to New York several times. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's a lot of crime down there, too, and there's a lot of places that you do not want to be in New York City. I actually have driven into them by accident at night. That was interesting. My son and I, Josh, we would go down we went down to Yankee Stadium. I took my nephew down there also one time. But when Josh and I went down to New York City, I called it my pilgrimage. I had to go. I had to see the Yankees, of course. But so when we went down there, we had left the game in like the seventh inning. The Yankees were up huge. I mean, huge. And I'm like, we're going to beat the traffic. We're getting out of here now. Well, missed the turn for George Washington Bridge, and I went down a wrong turn. And we were in the part of the city where you do not want to be in at night. And to be honest, and be white. I think we were the only two white people that I saw in that area. And we ended up coming up to a light, and I made the right on red. And in New York City, which I did not know, on the island, you cannot make a right on red. I guess that's a law that they have down there. So we got pulled over. Cop pulled me over, and you're going to love this conversation. So he walks up to the car, and I said to him, I go, "You're not going to believe this, but I'm really happy that you pulled me over." And he was like, "What?" And he goes, he goes, "Well, do you know why I pulled you over?" I said, "I have no idea." He goes, "You can't make a right on red on the island." I said, "Well," I said, I'm from Rochester. We were living up in Rochester at the time. I said, "I didn't know, And he's like, "Well, yeah, that's the law down here." And I said, "Yeah, I made a wrong turn. We're just coming back from the Yankee game. So here's him on this side, and another cop on the other side. And he's flashing the flashlight, and here's 8-year-old Josh with his cup of pop with the Yankee cup." But they showed us the right way on how to get out of there and get back on a George Washington Bridge to go to where we were going. But it was very uncomfortable for a minute and that's why I was making a quick right on red, because I was not hanging out. I mean, it was a scary situation. If you're in the wrong place like that, where you don't belong. New York can be very intimidating, but New York can be a lot of fun too. New York City can be a lot of fun. But depending on where you go with any place, you're going to have good and bad. So certain parts are probably not places you're going to want to go, and other parts are really a lot of fun. So again, like anywhere though. Pitbull Moose, hey from Colorado, very cool. Nice to see you tonight. So guys, if you haven't, what was I going to say here? I was going to say something. Oh, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, comment, and share. And make sure you're hitting that bell icon as well, and so that you get notifications. So, but 82 and rainy in Mobile. Tubular Guy 9 says, yeah, that's We haven't seen 80 in a few days. The last time we had that day, it was like 87, and then the next day it was a high of 71. Hey, preppers, would love a video on prepping for pregnancy. I will definitely do that. I promise you, I will definitely do a video on that, and we will definitely do I'll talk about that. You ever find yourself taking a break from prepping? Moonlight. There's been times where you kind of you need to, and when I say a break, for me, a break is take a couple days and try not to think about different things. But it's, no, for me, prepping is such a lifestyle now. It's what I do, and I eat, sleep, and breathe it, to be honest with you. I will talk to absolutely anybody about prepping. If they have questions, I'm more than happy to, answer anybody's questions. I love doing it. Absolutely love doing it. So, for me, it's just a way of life, realistically. So it's a lot of fun. So here's Kat. We are Legion. Yes, we are. So we're talking about that for a minute, guys. And I've talked about this a lot more recently, and I think it's really important with everything that's going on around the world and stuff like that. I think as preppers and off-gridders, we are the ones that are awake. And I say we are Legion because we are many. There's so many of us out there, a lot more than people give us credit for. And we are the ones that really, truly can make a difference when that time comes. Now, again, it's an individual choice. If you don't want to help somebody, then don't. But for the most part, I think that because we're awake and we're more ready than everybody else, if we can, I think we should be, try to. Some people can't, and I get it. And there's no judgment on my part. I just feel like that if I can help, I'm going to try to help. Don't get me wrong. I am not a sucker. I'm not going to be gullible. And if somebody has bad intentions, then they're not going to be around very long. But, again, if we can help people, I think it's important that we try. And so, so being said, we are Legion. We got to do this. Where is everybody from tonight? If you could put on here where you're from. We got Tulsa, Oklahoma, California, Central Valley, California, Ireland, very cool. Quebec, Canada, very nice. Lanchi, I think if I said that right. West Virginia, Ontario, New York, Missouri, Virginia, Central Pennsylvania, Bakersfield, Norway, very cool. Central Florida, Cleveland, Dallas, Hudson Valley, Texas. We got Boston, Mississippi, Waco, Texas, New York, Iowa, East Syracuse, Salem, Oregon, very cool. Near Ottawa, Canada. Crazyville, Ohio, Arkansas, Eastern Kentucky, Kansas, Karstead, Minnesota, Florida, Quebec, I missed that. Washington State, Wisconsin, Georgia, Alabama, Southwest Ontario, Canada, Coldwater, Michigan, Missouri, Sodus, Michigan, Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Oregon Coaster, South Carolina, Maine, Dutchess County, New York, Montana, Australia, very cool. The UK, very cool. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Alabama, North Alabama, Chihuahua, North Carolina, very cool. So anyway, guys, it just goes to show you we're all over the place, not just in the United States, all through Canada, all through Europe. We're all Australia, all over the place, guys. We are all over. And, I think it's important to try to work together if we can and stick together. I think that's really, really important that we try to do that if we can. So, I definitely, I think it's important that we try to do the right thing at the time. Not everybody's going to be able to. There's going to be a lot of people with bad intentions. I get it. And you have to kind of glean them out. But I think I'm going to have a real hard time turning little kids away that need help. And when I say little kids, guys, I'm talking 3, 4, 5-year-olds that are not looking to try to scam you or do something like that, or just that genuinely need help. So I think that's important that we do that. Guys, if you haven't shot me that thumbs up yet, if you would do that before we jump off here, I definitely would appreciate it. We're at 328. Let's see if we can get that up to, we're not going to get it to 400, I don't think. If we did, that would be wild if we could do that. So, how are the chickens? Okay, yes, let's talk about the chickens real quick. So, as you know, I had to separate the young rooster out for a while from the group. And I think what it was, I think he was sick. I think he had eaten something wrong. and that's why he was kind of logy like he was for a couple of days. He bounced back. Now, don't get me wrong. Goliath is still the boss. He ran back in with the group on his own. I wasn't going to let him back in. He ran in on his own. And I said, oh, okay, we'll see how it goes. Goliath definitely establishes dominance over him. I'm not going to lie. But he doesn't seem like he's being attacked. So he's doing pretty good. And today we had 4 adult eggs and 4 of the juvenile or pullet eggs, as they're called. And so we had 8 eggs out of 9 hens today. So that's ties the best day that we've had so far. Chickens are doing good. They're doing absolutely awesome. They're so much fun. I really get a lot of pleasure out of the chickens. But I watch them, and I'm keeping them safe, and so that's what I do, with them as well. But yeah, they're doing really, really well. So. Great chat tonight. Oh, thank you, Tubular Guy 9. I appreciate that. Hopefully, with any of these talks that I have, guys, what I want to try to really do, I want to do 2 things. I want to wake people up, and I want to make you think. So a lot of the things what I do when I'll do different videos, I want to put a scenario out there that makes you think. Sometimes it may be uncomfortable to think, but I think we all need to. Mr. Rose said we're 346 on the thumbs up, Mr. Rose. So we need 54 to hit 400 here. I don't know if we're going to make it. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, please shoot me that thumbs up. Let's see how close to 400 we can get here before the time runs out. Well, not runs out, but before I sign off. But Cheryl H. says, thanks for all you do. Well, thank you. And I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the reason that I do this. You really, truly are. You guys inspire me. You have no idea how much you motivate me. And I want to continue to move forward and, and share things. And, and there's things that need to be discussed and rationally, and not like, like people will try to get their point across, but they're going to scream over everybody else or shout somebody down that thinks differently than they do. That's not having a discussion. You can have a rational discussion. And like I said, if you agree with gun control or disagree with gun control, again, it is absolutely your own prerogative. And I respect your right to think whatever you want. But it's like, we shouldn't be forcing our views on other people because we think that we're right. Okay. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that it should be a fair thing, and we should not be controlled by the government more so than what we already are. I mean, you look at Canada. I mean, British Columbia, Canada up here. With Trudeau up there, he's hamstrung you guys. I mean, you can still have guns, but you got to jump through hoops and get permission now, which is ridiculous. Especially living, if you're out in desolate areas, you should have that right to be able to protect yourself from, all enemies, 2-legged and 4-legged. So there's parts up there in Canada where you are not the highest food on the food chain. Same thing with Alaska. I mean, when you have your brown bears that when they're standing on their back feet can be 15 feet tall, you are not the apex predator. They are, so that's something to think about. So anyway, guys, again, if you haven't, go over to my daughter's channel, subscribe to her, show her some support, show her some love. She's a great kid, and it's Hang Out with Heather. So I appreciate that. Don't forget the sale on the website, 20% off everything from now until September 4th. It's the back to school sale. So, again, if you are interested in getting stocked up on freeze-dried food, it's definitely, a good way to do it, and it's a nice savings too. So anyway, guys, last thumbs up here. We're at 376. I'm going to give it like one more minute to see how close we can get to 400, and then I'm going to jump off here. But I appreciate all you guys. I want to thank my moderators. My moderators are absolutely awesome. They're great people. They really try to keep the chat clean, which I do truly appreciate because, like I said, it's a family-friendly oriented channel, and I want to keep it that way because we're a big family, guys. And I think it's important that we really try to work together and stuff like that. And we should support other people out here doing these things. Like Marfugal News is a great example. I support him. He's a good guy, family guy. He just had a second child. So, again, go check him out as well. So there's a lot of good people out there. It really, really is. And there's a lot of good channels and a lot of good information. So Anyway, guys, we're at 390 thumbs up. I guess we're not hitting 400 here before we get out. So YouTube needs to abolish the thumbs down. It's useless. Yeah, but you know what? It's just it's the one way people that hate you can protest. So that's going to happen. It's never going to change. Some people are going to hate you no matter what you do, and so that's part of. Oh, there we are. One away, guys. We'll hit one more, and then I'm going to jump off. So we're at 399 on the thumbs up. So we got to have one more. So now we're going to stay. Oh, there we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Boom. Right. Exactly. We get it. So, all right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Look for me tomorrow. I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate the support. I really do. It's why I do what I do, guys. Okay. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.